Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Z. First things first, if you haven't subscribed, please click on the red subscribe button below to help me grow the channel. Alright, this is going to be another recipe video. You're not going to see my face half the time, so maybe some of you will be happy not to see my face. Anyway, so what I'm doing today is there's this Hunter's Dry recipe that I think like 5 people it's not even 5, it's probably like 20 people have sent to me in the last few weeks. It's supposedly like a Hunter's Dry recipe. It's just there because it's lockdown and everybody's trying to make a little alcohol at home because all of our stashes have run out. So me, I'm not above trying anything. I'm sorry, I keep playing with my hair because it's, and I know I'm like cooking, but it's really in my face and it's annoying. So what I did is a week ago, I actually tried the recipe and this is where we ended up. I've literally just started drinking it today. First things first, just to be honest, in terms of how it worked out. I don't know if you've seen my pineapple beer recipe. That's the only thing I can compare it to is the pineapple beer recipe, which I've done before. If you haven't, just look in my videos. The pineapple recipe was the video before this one. I uploaded that yesterday. So today I started drinking the Hunter's Dry. All right, so here we are. This is what it looks like. I hope you guys can see. It's very cloudy, but I have to say it definitely tastes amazing. It tastes much better than the pineapple beer. However, the pineapple beer packed more of a punch. So in terms of the pineapple beer, I use like this is my drinking glass. Pineapple beer, I was like halfway through the glass and I was tipsy. Whereas, okay, I just poured glass number 2. This, only like here, like just as I was about to finish my glass, did I start feeling a little bit of a buzz. So it's delicious though, it's much better tasting. So I guess you have to pick a struggle. If you want a stronger alcohol, go for the pineapple. But if you want something that tastes good, but still gives you a bit of a buzz, this right here tastes amazing. And it does give you like a little bit of an alcohol buzz as well. All right, so let's get to the recipe. First things first, the recipe calls for 20 liters of water. I personally don't have a pot that is 20 liters large. This is the pot that I have. This is the largest pot that I have and it's 13 liters. So what I did is I scaled down the recipe, divided everything by 3. So I'm doing 2/3 of the recipe, which is 12 liters of water. This pot is 13 liters, we're doing 12 liters. So yeah, the 12 liters of water. You see, I even, like I've got a little recipe where I was trying to work out. I did maths for this. Can you even imagine? So yeah, so I did 13 liters of water. You boil the water is what it says. So once the water is boiled, you then add tea bags. The recipe asked for 5 roses tea bags. I didn't have 5 roses and I wasn't going to go to the shops to get 5 roses. So what I used instead was Joko tea bags and it worked just fine. I do still feel a buzz. I feel like it's worked. So I think any black tea that you've got, that's the black tea you should use. Don't go out just to get 5 roses specifically. The recipe wasn't clear if you should keep the tea bags in. I didn't, just because I didn't want it having like a strong tea taste. I'm not a big fan of black tea. So I put the tea bags in and once it cooled down, it's now like room temperature because I'm making it again. That's how good it is, like I'm making it again. So once it cooled down, I just decided to take out the tea bags, but that's your prerogative. If you want to keep them in there, you can keep them in there, I guess. I was just worried that it would just add a tea flavor that's a little too strong. So yeah, is 13 liters of water and then I use 13 tea bags. I'm gonna put the recipe measurements in the description below. So if I get anything wrong, I'm sorry, please just double check the description. I will definitely put my measurements that I used, which was, like I said, 2/3 of what the original measurements were used, just based on how big my largest pot is. So yeah, 13 liters and 13 tea bags. Took the tea bags out once it had cooled down, and I chopped all of my apples. The amount of apples I used was 11 apples. See, the thing is, because it's like I said, I'm using 2/3 of the recipe, there's a lot of stuff where I've just sort of had to wing it. I've got one apple left. These are the apples. Sorry, I dropped it. These are the apples I used. They're Granny Smith apples. They like those, like, they're very sour. So I used these. Let me just do the last one. I chopped them off camera just because I felt like it would save more time. I can't be here chopping a bunch of apples, 11 apples to be precise. So let me just finish chopping this one. So you just chop it. I chop it into quarters, and then I just remove like the cork in the middle, just so that it's nice and clean. See? Yeah. Okay, let me put that in my little bin there. And then it's literally just cutting up the apples. Okay, so that's my last apple. I've done all the other apples here. And the next thing we do is literally just to add your chopped up apples into, I guess, the tea. That's the best way I can put it, because, oh, forgot. Also, with the tea bags, you add sugar in there as well. I used, so the recipe called for 2 kgs of sugar. 2 kgs is about 10 cups. So I use 7 cups because, like I said, I'm doing 2/3 of the recipe just based on what I've got available. I don't have a 20-liter bucket. I don't have anything bigger than this pot. So yeah, I've got my sugar in there. The sugar I used, it says brown sugar. It's not specific if it's some special kind of sugar. I literally used, okay, it's just like in this container. But this is probably Salati or Pick n Pay, no name brand, whatever, like just regular brown sugar, not that sticky brown sugar that you would use for baking, just like regular brown sugar that you would put in your tea. So that's what I used, and I used 7 cups of that. Like I said, I will put the recipe in the description box so you can go just reference there. So there, now I've put my apples in, and the next thing is yeast. On the recipe that I read, or that's been going around, what I'll do is I'll put the recipe on my thumbnail and you can just sort of go through it from there. But the recipe called for 20 grams. This is the yeast I'm using, again, because it's the yeast I buy. So it called for 20 grams of brewer's yeast. Now, I don't know what brewer's yeast is, and I don't have brewer's yeast, even if I knew what it was. What I have is instant yeast, which is just used for normal home baking. That's what I'm using. Oh, that's upside down. So I'm still using 20 grams. I used 20 grams last week, and it's turned out really nice. So that's what I'm going to stick to. Just because I feel like maybe brewer's yeast would be stronger, and I didn't want to tone it down on the yeast, because the yeast and the sugar is what basically makes it alcoholic. Not like this, just alcoholic. It is quite, it's not potent, but that's what you want. You do want something that does pack a bit of a punch, so I don't think you can have too much yeast. So I then pour. Now my water is actually still a bit warm. So I'm pouring the yeast on top, let it sit. Oh, what I also did, I'm personally not a fan of Hunter's Dry. It makes my tummy run, it makes me feel a little bit, but at this point. What I do love under the Hunter's brand is Hunter's Hard Lemon. That's my favorite Hunter's. So what I did, let me actually go get a lemon from the fridge. 1 minute. Okay. Okay, so last week I added a lemon. Okay, so I literally just added 1 lemon, just sort of juice it a little bit into the pot, get that lemon juice just to get, in general I do like lemon flavored drinks. I like Hunter's Hot Lemon, I like Flying Fish, yo, this Hunter's is strong. I like Flying Fish pressed lemon. So if you don't like the lemon flavor, maybe leave it out. So I added that. I actually nearly forgot about this, but I don't know if this is what's made it taste so good, because this tastes amazing. So I put in the lemon. Just put that there. So yeah, I'm going to show you guys, I'm going to grab the camera and I'm going to show you what it looks like from the pot, because the pot is so big that you can't see it from here. There you go, there you go, there you go. So that's basically just the yeast and the lemons and the apples sitting in there. All right, let me just hold the camera by hand, that's fine. So what we do is I'm going to leave it for 7 days. That's what the recipe calls for, is 7 days. You literally just close your pot, put it somewhere. I put mine in the garage, which is the same place I've got my pineapple beer brewing. Just leave it somewhere where nobody's gonna bother it. I'm putting it in the garage because no one's going in and out of the garage. It is locked down, nobody's going anywhere. So yeah, close it, and 7 days later, open it up, stir it, and then you just basically strain it. I don't have a strainer, so what I've been using is this right here, which is a farouk or a dishcloth. You use this. This was a brand new dishcloth, but now I've washed it because I used it for the apple cider that I did today, as well as last week when I did my pineapple. But I think if you've just got any clean dishcloth, it's literally just a clean dishcloth. Doesn't have to be new. If you have a clean dishcloth, then I don't think it's a problem. You can strain it. So you just literally just put this over. What I use is this jug. So I use just like a normal measuring jug. I put my dishcloth. It's so hard to hold the camera. I literally just put my dishcloth on top. Can you see that? And then I would literally just pour the stuff in there and then strain it. And what you get is this. And like I said, it tastes amazing. But once again, warning, it's not as potent as the pineapple beer, but it tastes much better than the pineapple beer. So pick a struggle. Do you want taste? Do you want potency? It does still get you quite tipsy. I'm not feeling like it'll get me drunk. I'm only on glass number 2, but with pineapple by glass number 2, I was like, I think I only had 2 glasses of the pineapple beer because I was like, hey, this thing. And I didn't know I'd want a hangover. I still have stuff to do. I'm still working from home. So yeah, let me know if you try this recipe. Let me know how it works for you. All the best and happy lockdown.